Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about some big news that came out today regarding the user interface, regarding add-ons, regarding accessibility, and a bunch of things within those premises that I just mentioned. They put out this video on the World of Warcraft channel. I highly encourage you watch it if you have time. It's a long video. In my video here, I'm just going to be kind of breaking down the main highlights from this video that I thought were very interesting, but I do encourage you watching it. It's Ian Hazakosis, and then Liquid, Raid Leader Max, and then Dratnos, a well-known caster and stuff for World of Warcraft, and content creator as well. They did this very, very good interview, and I do highly encourage watching it, but let's talk a little bit about what they talk about and what it means for the game and stuff like that regarding, add-ons, user interface, and of course accessibility as well. So I think it's important. Let's start off with what's going to be coming here really soon. So in 11.1.7, which is probably a month or two away, probably like a month and a half or so away, 11.1.7 will come out, and it's going to have two features in it. So we just got the cooldown manager. That was not beloved, and we'll talk about that next, the cooldown manager. But basically, there's a thing coming out. It's very similar to Heckley. It's going to be like a rotation helper. So if you don't know what that is, it's like an add-on, and like the button that you're supposed to press pops up, and then you press it. So, let's pull up my Blade of Justice up here. So I'm holding it here under my character. Blade of Justice pops up, so then I press that keybind for Blade of Justice, and it kind of tells you what to press in what order. If you have super quick reaction time, it can be really good. However, of course, it doesn't necessarily account for like on the fly things like, okay, I should actually hold here because I have to run around, or you have to use a little, and that's how you really become good player, right? Is you kind of use your brain to know, oh, I need to use this cooldown before this, or I need to hold my cooldown until after this, etc., etc. But it's a very good thing for helping people out. It's not the best, if I'm just being completely honest, for the very highest ends of content, but in medium content, in casual content, and everything else, it's completely fine. And there are some high-end players that use it or use something similar to it as well. And they're going to be putting this base function into the game. Now, this is mostly going to be accepted. Of course, people who use Heckley will be like, well, what the heck? I like mine better, whatever. Now, they've said that they're not going to do anything to get rid of your old add-on or ban your old add-on or whatever if you use it already. But there will be something in-game for other players to use, so they don't have to feel like they have to use an add-on if they do want that help. So that's definitely a good thing that's going to be coming into the game. I don't know how good it's going to be right away, similar to the cooldown manager, which again we will talk about next. But the other thing coming is more of an accessibility thing. And I've seen some people have some pretty wild takes about this, but let's talk about it here really quick. So there's going to be a one-button rotation thing. So basically, you just can put this one button on your bar, and it's going to do the Heckley rotation helper thing for you, basically, by pressing the one button. With a key distinction, it's going to have a global cooldown extension on it. So instead of a 1 second GCD, it would be a 1.2 second GCD. And so basically every time you press 5 buttons with that thing on, I would press 6 buttons. And over the course of a fight that's going, or a course of a dungeon, or the course of whatever, that's going to account for a lot less buttons pressed overall. And it is going to very highly nerf your damage. If it's overperforming, I think they would just increase that GCD even more, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, until the point where anybody not using it and knows what they're doing is going to be doing better damage. I've seen some people have some wild takes saying that there's going to be mythic raiders, or people are going to be using this in like a very competitive environment. That is not going to be the case. I don't know anybody who mythic raids who wants to be so far down on the damage meter because they are losing out on, I don't even know how many it would be. It would be what per minute? It would be 10. So like losing out on 60 casts on a raid boss fight, losing out on like 300 casts over the course of a Mythic Plus dungeon, something like that. I'm just doing like quick math in my head. But there's going to be nobody who's really doing that at high end. If you want to do it at a lower end level, then that's fine, or mid level, that's fine. And if you do it at high end level and you're succeeding, then that's fine too. I don't care. I'm not going to use that because that's not for me. It's not made for me. It's meant to just, and he specifically said in the video, Ian said in the video, that it's mostly for an accessibility issue. It's for people who don't even want to do combat or are just trying to do like the storyline. So they get the storyline quest and they have to go kill stuff for the quest, and they just don't learning the rotation isn't part of the game for them, and this is just an accessibility thing for them. And even for kids, perhaps it could be very helpful. Obviously, I'm an older person. You're watching this, you might be an older person, like older meaning like 20s, mid 20s to mid 30s to mid 40s to mid 50s, whatever. But I do have children, and one of my children does play WoW. He's old enough to play a little bit, and something like this would help him a lot and make him enjoy certain aspects of the game better. So I think that it's a good thing overall. And if it, for some reason, was being too powerful, you would just nerf it. It would be a very simple thing to nerf, and I'm not worried about it at all. So we have the cooldown helper, we have the manager or the helper, we have the one button thing. And now let's talk about the cooldown manager real quick. So this came out and it was not beloved because there's a lot of stuff lacking with it, right? You can't modify things, you can't modify what you're tracking, what you're not tracking. There's no sound cues. So these things, Ian mentioned in the video that they are going to be trying to work on and continue to iterate, and that's going to be the theme of all of this. The rotation helper is going to be iterated on and helped. The one button thing, there's not much to do there, but all these things that are going to be coming out, these other add-ons that are going to be basically put into the game user interface, they're going to be slowly worked on until they are good enough to compete with an add-on, to where the person who doesn't use add-ons is on the same, at least the same playing field as the person with an add-on. Even if you like your add-on better and you want to continue to use your add-on instead, other people will still be on the same playing field as the person without the add-on. I think that's probably the best place we can hope to get. And that would be like the best case scenario there. So if you are thinking very lackluster about the cooldown manager that came out, let's go to edit mode, because mine only loads in combat. Edit mode. There it is, cooldown manager. So right here you have execution settings, shake the heavens, some of the cooldown stuff right there. And this is like a very bare bones system. I like the tracker here, although you should be able to choose what spells you're tracking on with like the timer and stuff like that. I really love that feature of it. But of course you need to be able to modify this and edit it, in which right now you cannot. So that's something that's going to be iterated on, and that's coming slowly over time. More iterations and more improvements on there. It's like a big focus that they're doing right now, which I think is really, really good. Some other things he talked about: adding a damage meter into the game. So right here's details. I'm at the top of it, which is very rare in Raid these days. A lot of people died on that poll, so I got a bunch of free wings. He mentioned that a overwhelming majority of players who play World of Warcraft have a damage meter installed. So not just a majority, not 51%, but he's probably talking like 60-70% of players have a damage meter installed. So they are looking to put one in the game. Obviously, you'd be able to turn it on or off. This would be controversial to those who don't use it, I think, because they're like, well, I don't want to see my damage, that kind of thing. Like, usually it's because their damage might not be the best and they don't want to care about it or think about it or worry about it or stress about it. I get it. But this would be a very good thing. It's just one less add-on that you need, and it'll just be base in the game. And I think that's been coming for a very, very long time. They should have put a damage meter in back in vanilla, honestly. That's how long ago there should have been a damage meter in the game, because how many players do use it, and that's just kind of how you play World of Warcraft. For most players, again, the overwhelming majority. If you're one of the ones who don't, that's fine. You can still leave yours off when they put it in the game. But it at least will be available to those who already use it, and they can just, instead of using an add-on, they can just switch it on or off, or they can continue to use the add-on if they want to use the add-on instead. They're not trying to get rid of like add-ons that don't help you defeat bosses. Basically, they just want to get rid of add-ons that like send position assignments and stuff like that. And I guess we could talk about that next. So kind of like the big fundamental thing that they talked about a lot was kind of like raid fights and Mythic Plus too, but how like weak wars, tell you to go wherever. So like, let's say this pillar over here is circle and this pillar is star and this one's diamond, and I'm fighting the boss here, and me and two other people get marked with something, and I'm the melee, and the melee one's over here always, and it says, go to diamond or whatever, and I walk over here, do whatever I have to do, and then I come back in. They basically want to get rid of add-ons doing that for you, but what's important to point out is that he said right now the game isn't able to give you the correct information to do that on your own quick enough. So what they want to do is make it eventually to where you can not need it. So first of all, they give more time to do it. Right now, the biggest problem is you get that thing, and then you and the other two people each have 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds to get over to where you need to go. Right? That's kind of like the big issue, and it's because the weak aura tells you what to do that you can even do it. So what they want to do is like give you like 5 seconds or something, right, to do it. So that way you can figure it out. You can call out, I'm going diamond, or you can get your wits about you a little bit and kind of figure it out. But the problem is right now people would still just use a weak aura for it. So but they want to have something in game that makes it more obvious. For example, like maybe have a symbol, like a melee symbol, or whatever the case may be. He didn't use that as an example, but just something in the game to show you where to go, or something in the game to kind of like give you a cue as to what to do or where to go. So that way you don't need an add-on telling you to do it, essentially. And then they could get rid of the functionality for weak auras to give assignments. It's worth pointing out once again, though, that again, this is not something that's going to be happening anytime soon. Ian said that this would not happen until the game could comfortably do it for you. They are not going to limit anything because they don't want people feeling like something's impossible because they don't have the correct tools in game for you to figure it out in game without the add-on, right? So it's going to be something that over time, over the next few years, couple years, whatever, year, I don't know how long it'll take, but over the course of time, they basically want it to be where you can do everything without add-ons if you want to, and you can still use your add-ons if you want to, except for things that like give you assignments and solve problems for you. This is what they were trying to solve with private auras. They realized it does not work because people just make the macros for them if they private aura something that needs to be weak aura'd, and so they are going to not necessarily scrap the private auras, but kind of in some ways eventually get rid of weak auras or any other add-on having access to basically assign things essentially. So I think that's a very good thing. I think that's what most people want. It's actually one thing I disagree with a lot of his WoW takes, but it's one thing I actually agree with Asmongold on is just get rid of these dang add-ons in the game. But having them be a part of the game isn't getting them out of the game, but it's giving everyone the same playing field. Everyone has the same thing, right? And so I think that's I think it's a huge step in the correct direction when it comes to that. Like I said, I'm not a big add-on user myself. I do think it's very important that he continually specified that they're not trying to ban all the add-ons. You can still use your add-ons, just like how I use the default Blizzard UI. Just because they put this new Blizzard UI in doesn't mean that you can't use your old UI, right? And that's not what they're trying to do. Anything cosmetic, anything like if they put a damage meter in, I highly doubt that they would get rid of like ban details or whatever. You could still use details if you prefer details, or if you want something that details does better than what the WoW UI can do, like especially probably customizable stuff, and things like that, right? Also, he again just mentioning trying to do more sound cues, more things like that a lot of like boss mods do and stuff like that, is very helpful as well. So I think this video, I think not just the video, but I think like the interview, I guess, was just phenomenal. I love this as the direction of World of Warcraft. It's actually great for me. If you're someone who uses an add-on for everything, you're like, okay, this is pointless for me because their thing is probably never going to be as good as my setup, and that's fine because then you could continue to use your setup, right? So it's only helping people and it's not really hurting anybody. And so that's when I think that's when I get a little bit sussed out when people are hating on something, when it's good for some people and it's not bad for anybody. It kind of weirds me out a little bit because you're basically mad that other people are going to be happy. I don't get that personally. No matter what it is, if it's not hurting somebody and it's helping others, then I don't get hating on it personally. That bothers me a little bit, honestly, when I see that. Now, if it's directly hurting you, so if they're like, if it was different and they were like, well, we're gonna ban details and recount, and we're gonna ban your custom UI that you use through Week Wars or whatever, we're going to ban that UI. Then all of a sudden it's hurting people. And so then it's like, okay, I get the outrage because now you're hurting some percentage of the player base. And so I totally get it. But if you're not hurting anybody, I don't get that. So this is phenomenal to me. It's 100% where I would want to see the game go. I wish this would have started happening back in like Mists of Pandaria, honestly. And then by now they would have like a really good UI if they would have started it back then. But this is phenomenal direction to go to. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. We will see. But let me know what you guys think about it. Obviously, you might be someone who has all the add-ons, so it doesn't really affect you that much. You might be someone like me, it's going to affect you a lot. Obviously this is stuff you can turn on or off, so it doesn't have to affect you, I guess. But I think it's a great direction for the game. Just let's get this interface just modernized and better, basically. So that's it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.